Hello again and welcome to another Mordian Glory video. But is it even a Mordian Glory video? Because I am joined by the man, the myth, the hobby expert. It is Salty Simon. How are you doing, Simon?
Hey, you all right?
I'm not too bad. We're filming this on a Sunday, which is unusual for us.
I know, yeah, it is, yeah.
I'm actually somewhat rested and recovered. I've been out for a walk. I've touched grass.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. Have you been outside?
I've been outside.
Jesus, wow.
The air is so much fresher out there.
Yeah, well, yeah, as compared to that battle bunker, tell you what. Christ alive.
And it's a day, it's not only me going outside, which is a sign of it being a Sunday, but you are, before our very eyes, hobbying.
I am, yes.
It's never been done.
I am. Look, I'm rebasing. Look, I've got that.
He's basing, so he's taking them from... So what you're saying, Simon, is you are based.
Well, that's, yeah, could say that, yeah. Yeah. I've got 130 bloody base extenders to paint. And
you're taking them from black to brown.
Yes.
So it's a complex bit of hobby.
It is really, yeah. That's hence the reason I'm talking to you.
So somehow you found something more boring than me.
It just gives me something to zone out on when you're going off on one of your random tangents, to be honest.
That's the best bit. That's the best bit.
He's off now. I've got 15 minutes. I can get a bit of painting done while he's just talking nonsense to himself.
Well, indeed. You can just be like, yeah. The waitress should have taken it back. Like, that's Seinfeld reference for people out there. Anyway, what are we talking about today, Simon? I'll tell you what we're talking about. We're talking about Konflikt 47, and we'll probably at some point talk a little bit about Old World as well, as you are painting some Old World. It only seems fair.
Yeah. Yes.
Only seems fair.
Oh, I'm looking forward to the next one.
He's looking forward to a game with me. Again, it's never been done.
Oh yeah, it's the first time for everything. Yeah, I'll tell you what.
You're going to be just what you're doing is looking forward to proving yourself right that high elves are better. That high elf sword masters are better.
Well, yeah, we'll come back to that one because I'm definitely swimming against the tide on this one.
Okay, so we'll drop that in now to get the Old World people curious, but we'll circle back round to Simon's theory on why sword masters are the best. All right.
Yes. So
we'll talk about a bit of K47 first because I want to. And so...
Of course you do. I mean, it's all you've been talking about forever.
Right. So I've been doing... So firstly, we had a bit of a longer final thoughts at the end of the battle report.
Yes.
And now we've had a bit of a... We've slept... It's been a couple of days. We've slept on it. And we're now here again. And we're going to be giving our sort of more... post-reflection thoughts, shall we say?
Yes.
So, Simon, do you? Yeah. Do you want to give your post-game thoughts on Konflikt 47? Now, what I would ask you first is to talk about how you felt the mechanics of the game were, and how quickly or how difficult it was to pick up things like Rift dice. So coming in as something like a bot action player, and then feel free to go off on one about the Americans.
It's for that because it's it's first game without sort of having. But I mean, if you play bolt action, you can play Konflikt 47. I mean, it's there's about a handful of rules that are different in the base game, and then you throw Rift dice in, and that's it. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that's it.
It's. At the beginning of the game off camera, you were like, "Oh, what the difference is?" And I said, "I'm not even going to tell you. You'll pick them up after one turn." And I think after one turn, you had picked them up. I mean, you were, by turn 2, you were saying, "Don't forget to roll your Rift dice to me."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it is bolt action, isn't it? Basically, I mean, what the assault phase is different, or the fight rules are different, and you've got Rift dice and. Is that it?
I think that's basically it. Once you've got the Rift dice nailed down and you're aware of, I mean, we haven't. I think where the game will feel very different is when we get into a long, grueling, ongoing combat, aka Totem Core versus Shibito. I think that'll be where, okay, so now we need to do 2 rounds of combat and then pause and do something else and then come back and then do 2 rounds. That's where I think it'll feel different. But I think for a lot of people who are getting into the game at first, it'll just be like, it's bolt action with Rift Dice. And personally, I see that as a positive thing. What about yourself?
Yeah. I mean, look, bolt action, you know, you've heard me wax lyrical about bolt action. I love the dice bag. Having another dice type in the dice bag is good. I like that mechanic. That was quite good fun. I mean, if it's not broken, don't fix it. I mean, I think it is the ultimate. I think the bolt action is a very good system. So just strap on some wacky nonsense on top of it and roll with it.
Yeah, I think I do think some of the changes they've made from bolt action to Konflikt 47 are better. I have to say, are you getting sun in your eyes? And then
I'm just going to just
close the curtains.
There we go.
One thing I would say, generally speaking, and I know your opinion on this might be different, but like you said, it's only one game. You got to find the faction that's right for you and everything. I think I do prefer Konflikt 47 over bolt action. And I think the reason for, and I have played the Americans and I have played the Axis. So I've played both sides of the fence. So I understand some of the frustrations with the Americans and I understand some of the hype with the Axis, shall we say. But for me, I think the number one reason why I prefer it is because I like how much more melee is a thing in the game. Yeah,
I mean, it's like a whole extra phase, isn't it, that you don't really get in bolt action, to be honest. So, yeah, I thought, you know, and you got melee, you know, dedicated units like those wolf buggers, bastards. So yeah, I didn't like them. And the zombies are pretty cool. I like those. So yeah, it does add that to the game. I think that's fair to say. I think I can tell you now. I mean, we're going to talk about the factions in a bit. What my concern, I guess, is what the points look like, how out of whack, and I think if there's any faction in there that's got very strong rift abilities and access to cheap rift units, they will be the top faction.
I think that's a fair point.
Just because of the mechanics, I think it's when you're popping the rift dice back in, if you've got 2 units that have got a really strong rift ability and you've got 8 rift dice, then the chances are you're going to be able to use those abilities on those units every turn.
Yeah, the rift dice aren't scarce, are they?
Well, they aren't Americans.
That's true.
They weren't on the unit.
What I mean is the rift dice, you think you're going to spend a lot of time with them being exhausted. And the reality is that most of the time you'll have an active rift dice when you want one.
Yeah. Especially if you've got, like I said, if you've got access to cheap rift units, that's gonna, that's just gonna make life a whole lot easier.
Well, I will tell you that since our game, Simon, the rules, the rules have come out essentially, and the points have gone up and changed in some places, and both the zombies and the Shrek Wolfen have had a nerf. So So zombies went from 17 points per model to I think 21 points per model.
Oh, so that's quite significant then.
Yeah, and the Shrek Wolfen I think went from 38 points per model to 43 points per model. So they both.
Firefly is still the cost of your first child.
What in terms of cost? Into monetary cost.
Yeah. Unit of 5, sacrifice your first child.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. No, to be fair, the Shrek Wolfen aren't so bad. The Shrek Wolfen, it's like £40 for 6 of them, but you're only ever going to need like 3 of them.
No, I meant point values. Oh God.
Point values. Sorry. Oh yeah. I wonder who's communicating less clearly. The man who's only half concentrating whilst painting, or the man who is dedicated for you, the viewer at home.
Probably. I'm going to go with me because I knew what I was trying to say.
Oh, that's okay.
They're very expensive in points, so you have to sacrifice your first child. Honestly, I tell you what, my humour is lost on you.
I will say this, Simon. Your humour is no laughing matter. Anyway, right. So what you're saying is in your list, they are a lot of points.
Yes.
Basically,
yes.
Okay, understood.
Right. I'm going to quality TV again. Just absolute dynamite quality content.
This is why people tune in, to see us bickering like old ladies, just like at each other. That's what it's all about. Now, Simon.
Yes.
Talk to me about your first impressions of the Axis and of the Americans. And then what we'll do is we'll go into the other army rules that have now been revealed, and you can give us a hot, salty take on the new army rules for like the Soviets and the Japanese and the British.
Well, I'll tell you, just going back to the mechanics.
Yeah.
The guts thing, and that I like that.
Putting the dice back in.
Yeah, that was quite cool. So I enjoyed that. That's a change, isn't it? I mean, you don't get that in bolt action. But yeah, I think for the Axis, having the ability to re-roll your rift dice again is, so it's literally you had what, 8 rift dice, was it?
7, I think, something like that.
7.
Yeah.
And essentially, so when you wanted a rift dice, you were pretty much guaranteed to have it, and you weren't far off being guaranteed to have the super duper one, whatever it's called.
The surging.
So that's quite nice. What are the Americans? You get a point of guts. Yeah.
You get to re-roll your rift dice on Tesla.
Yeah.
On Tesla units, and you get a re-roll on each one of your shots, your multi-shot groups.
That's nice. I think the rules were pretty good. It's just, like you said, it's until we get a wider choice of units to go at, it's difficult to really get too down on them, isn't it?
So what did you think? I think we should go up to 1,500 points.
I thought the game did feel too small.
Okay, I think we'll try 1,500 points in our next one, because by then I'll have some more mechs as well.
It feels like you want to be at about 10 dice.
Yeah.
But then I guess you could do that, but we just dropped 500 points on a big stompy spider robot thing. Just because I'm not using any of the real names because that's far too many to learn. So
I'll throw them out there. The Odin.
Yes. Big shooty robot thing. Yeah, that's pretty. So you used almost 40% of your points on that thing. No more than those.
I used a third of my points on that thing. It's about 500 points. Yeah.
Well, it would have been a third in a 1,500 point game.
Yeah.
We're playing 1250.
So 40%.
Yeah. Well, at least we were this time. The game before, when you were playing 1,500.
I still lost. Yeah, I think for me, it's what I would be very curious to see is if we took an American army, which was almost no rift units. And it was almost like, okay, so what are the 2 cheapest specialist / advanced infantry choices that we need to take for the assault platoon? It's probably 2 3-man power armor squads, because they're 90 points each.
Yeah.
And then after that, just be like, I am going to be spending everything on basically bot action stuff. And it'd be curious to see how that would pan out. But then I'm not sure. I'm not. Yeah, you'd probably have to end up taking. It'd be interesting how
just what would be the point? You might as well play bolt action at that point.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. Because it's funny you say that, because we were talking about this on one of the live streams, and I said that, and the instant response from, shout out to Godlike Poet, he's a big member in the live streams. He was like, then why the hell would you play Konflikt 47? And it's like, well, I think
wise man.
Yeah, I think that is a fair point. But my answer to that would be because there's going to be quite a few bot act people that want to try it out. So I think how I feel that the game will naturally progress over time is it will start off with people, bot action people using existing bot action stuff, and then there'll be people who are coming into the game fresh, from places like Warhammer 40k and other gaming groups who just want to try it out, and they'll probably go straight for all the rift stuff. But over the course of time, I think everyone will move towards, they'll meet in the middle, and they'll probably also, everyone will move towards mostly Rift units, which some people may say that's a bad thing, but, because obviously everyone likes to get angry about everything all the time these days, but including myself. But I think what I would say is I'd point to something like Old World, where the first people that jumped on it were people who had existing collections. And then over the fullness of time, they have added to their collections to bring them up to speed, up to speed. And I think that's it's easy to try and get bent out of shape about everything. When you think about it, that's how it should progress. Because people start figuring out what they actually want and what they want to try and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's a much smaller community, isn't it, than 40k. It's probably like, we're going to take time for it to mature, to get the scene up and running. Is it going to be a competitive side to the game? Is it just going to be shits and giggles? And how does that all end up? I mean, it'd be interesting. I mean, to be fair, I think what I'll do, once you've introduced me to all the rules, is have a look and see what I can do to my to my paras to maybe bring them turn them into a conflict army. There's a shortish shortcut. Christ, that makes no sense whatsoever, does it? As opposed to a long shortcut.
Even shorter shortcut. Not as short as it could be, but shorter than it was.
Is it just a couple of tanks and some those stupid robots?
They're good now. I think you'll quite like where they're going with them.
Oh no, I'm sure the rules are great, but they just look ridiculous.
I think they're going to be good I'm being NDA compliant. If they get new models.
Well, I presume they're all going to get new models at some point.
I think to be honest, I think by the time this video goes out, there may have already been things in the public domain, shall we say?
All right, fantastic.
So there we go.
But and I think it's going to be interesting to see how the actual community, what it evolves into, and is it going to be like these big narrative games that you're doing in Bolt Action? Are they going to pop up, or is it going to be a cutthroat tournament scene? I honestly don't know. It's quite
it's quite rare to be at the birth of what feels like a totally new game.
Potentially, yeah.
Because obviously, Old World for us personally, because obviously we played 40k forever, and Old World already kind of had an existing thing going for it. But Konflikt 47, and also for you personally, you got into Old World properly at the stage where you are now, about 18 months into its life. So it was well established in many ways. Whereas for both of us now, and for me, and then you're being dragged kicking and screaming along with me.
I don't have a lot of choice.
Don't have a lot of choice, no. But you are in at the ground floor. We are in at the ground floor, Sam. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see. But overall, I think Konflikt 47 is a good game. I think that's the number one takeaway. In summary, it gets a thumbs up. Yeah.
And it's bonkers.
It's bonkers. Now, speaking of bonkers, it's time for some army rules, Simon. What do you want first?
I am just going to go. We'll come back to that. But I think my one concern is, and as we talked about this, and I'll get the guy, whoever always says that I'm upset should play chess is probably right. But shout out to whoever that is. But my initial thoughts is, I mean, if the points have changed since we played, that's probably good. But they did seem a bit out of kilter, and my one concern is how balanced it will be, or is it just going to be everyone's going to run Axis because that's who knows? But that was my one. That's what came away from that game thinking, right? That's my one big. Actually, they need to make sure they get that right.
Yeah. As I said, Simon, you are a paradox. You love armies like Italians and goblins and things that are wholly unreliable. And then yet you also get quite upset when your troops are unreliable. You want the flavor. What it is your heart wants flavor, but your mind wants power. That's what it is. That it's the balance between the two.
But it's my favourite Blood Bowl team, the Gobbos.
Yeah. I
mean, I absolutely love Gobbos in Blood Bowl, because they're just bonkers. I mean, they're great, and that's what I like about it, because they're not there to win, are they, Goblins? To be honest, you're there to win one game in 10, and then you just talk about that forever because you know. And I
then you retire. You're like, yeah, done.
Which is fine because at that point it's not a balanced game. But it's not. I think nothing. You just are the points right, and I guess the more you play it, the more you see. And like you said, if it's going to be a living document, that's good. That's positive.
I think it needs to be, and I know that there will be a little bit of. I think some people will love that and some people will hate it, but I think overall people will like it because I think some people, one of the great advantages of a game like Bot Action is it is very static, but it's very easy for it to be static because a man with a rifle is exactly the same in every single nation. So it's much easier to leave things static in that game. Whereas in Konflikt 47, I think the fact that it's going to be getting tweaks, I think is a good thing because there are a lot more crazy bits. There's a lot more crazy bits. So speaking of crazy bits, Simon, who do you want to know about first? Japan, Russia, or Britain?
Britain.
Great Britain, rule Britannia, all that good stuff. Pip, pip, tally ho.
Turning into an episode of Hello, Hello.
It's going to be an episode of Hello, Hello. All right, so the first rule that you have, Simon, is actually about incorporating bolt action units into your army. And basically it says you can bring all bolt action units in, and they go in the appropriate slot in the appropriate platoon, aka your basic infantry should be considered as basic infantry in the platoon and all that kind of stuff. And they recommend that you take late war units, but they don't insist upon it.
Okay.
So you take whatever you want, but they recommend you take late war units to keep with the vibe. But what they do say is none of your bolt action units will benefit from your army rules. Now, now at first that sounds kind of poo, but as British, none of your, very few of your army rules would really affect it.
Okay.
So you're all right. So you're all right in that regard. So the first.
So let's just start this off, just so I've got this right. That if you take bolt action units, they don't get the army rules. Well, that's fine because the British army rules aren't very good.
No, the British army rules are fine, but not many of your army rules are going to be super relevant to your units.
Right, got you, yeah.
So it's fine. It's fine.
It's not me ranting before we've even got there. Right.
No, your British army rules are really good. Do you want to know what the first one is? The first one is so powerful that it will probably define your entire army.
Okay.
It's called computational systems.
Ooh.
So all of this is to represent, you've got the robots, but also you've got computers inside your tanks and stuff and your mechs and stuff, which no one else has.
Nice.
Because you've got AI. And there's a big theme running through the British Army where you can upgrade vehicles, especially vehicles and mechs, to having computational systems. So they start off without them, but you can upgrade them to have them.
Yeah.
It's a very simple rule. Yet, as a bot action player, I think you will appreciate how powerful this is.
Yeah.
Reporting for duty, sir.
If you have computational systems, you ignore the -1 to hit penalty for moving and shooting.
Nice.
So basically, 50% of the to hit modifier, 33% of all the to hit modifiers you may possibly be affected by inexperienced, having a pin, or moving has been removed. Now, this is very, very, very powerful because the Americans used to have this in bolt action.
Yeah,
and they in version 2, and they took it away from them in version 3 because it was really powerful. And now they've given it back to the British.
There you go. That's good.
But it's not on everybody.
Just if they've got a computer on board.
Just they got a computer on board. So that's very, very interesting. You've also got automated recovery, which allows all your British Commonwealth vehicles and Rift units just ignore crew stun results. The damage has no effect. So if someone, it's not. So basically, if someone does a glancing hit against you and they then get a crew stun, you just ignore it.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is okay because often that can knock your vehicle out for a turn because it makes you go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not super powerful, but not super bad either.
That's one of those that probably isn't going to come up in many games, and then it'll come up in a game and it'll win the game for you.
Exactly. It's exactly that kind of rule. You've then got keep calm, lads. Each time a British... So this is the one that would probably affect the most bolt action units. And if I was playing a friendly game, I'd probably allow this to be on my bolt action infantry as well, because there's no reason why it wouldn't be. Each time a British infantry unit on a down order receives a pin marker, roll a d6. On a roll of a 4+, immediately discard it. So if you're down, so it's not all the time, but if you're down and you receive a pin, you just get to roll a 4+ straight away. And if you make the 4+, you get rid of it.
Nice.
It's not too shabby. If it would receive multiple pin markers, you roll for each separately. So you don't, someone hits you with a howitzer, you don't ignore all D3 pins on a 4-up. You roll for each pin separately, which is nice. Okay. So I think automated recovery is fine. I think keep calm, lads, is fine. I think computational systems is great. But the next one is potentially game winning.
Yeah. Okay. Is it the luck of tin?
You know what? You're not far off. Seriously, you're not far off. Okay. Do you want to know what it is?
Well, as I'm here, yes.
It's called... well, I'm not telling you now.
Right.
It's called superior code breaking.
Right, okay.
Once per game.
Yeah.
You get to pick the first dice out the bag.
Ooh.
You can't use it on a snap 2, though.
Right.
So they've capped it, so you can't take a company command and then be like, 4 units, go!
Right, that is very interesting, that one.
I mean, Simon, would you say it's safe to say that every single game of bolt action you have ever played, there has been one point when you have been, I really, really fucking need the first dice?
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes, everyone.
Everyone. Well, if you play Brits,
every game, every single game,
every single. There's no game when you're like, oh, I don't care about getting the first dice. She's like, no, I need the first dice.
Yeah, bloody hell, that's really nice.
Once per game. And now, if 2 people have this rule, so Brit v Brit, they're the only ones that have it. Brit v Brit. Then you roll off, and the winner gets to use their ability this turn, and the loser has to wait till another turn. So you don't get to, the loser doesn't get to do it afterwards. So you have to wait. You have to wait to a completely different turn, which I think is quite spicy. So what do you think?
That's very good, that.
It's very good. The first 3, you're like, oh, that's fine.
Reporting for duty, sir.
To be honest, computational systems, is whatever it's called, is very good as well. So you can basically have tanks that can move and shoot without any penalty, and if you need a corpse, get the next dice out of the bag, or first dice of this turn out of the bag, you can do that. Yeah, that's very, very good, I think.
Think about this, mate. Stick this in your pipe and smoke it.
Okay.
Take a Tesla unit with computational systems, aka a Cromwell.
Yeah.
And then, let's say you've got a surging dice on it, you would get to move and shoot without penalty, and you get +1 to hit because it's Tesla shooting an enemy vehicle. You'd be hitting on 3s with Tesla.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Nice.
It is genuinely spicy. And imagine if you were like, I'm going to do that first dice. Bang. Just go in there and just absolutely fry an enemy vehicle. Now, I like it.
That is very good. That is very good.
I like it. Now, there's a couple of other... We're not going to go through every unit. I'm just going to pick out some of the, I would say, most interesting ones.
Right, let's talk about the most important one. What are the Italians in the
Oh, no, they're in here. They're really good. Genuinely really good. Yeah. So... let's just presume that whatever army list we're looking at, if there's Italians, we need to discuss them first. Okay, no, they're actually genuinely interesting, right? So they're in grade 1 power armor, and they have to be taken as veterans. So their damage value 6+. They come with tough fighters inbuilt.
Nice.
So 2 attacks per man, and they come with an LMG inbuilt. So they're actually quite unique. Because most infantry is either SMG, which gives them tough fighter, or LMG. So most power on infantry is kind of broken down into Daka or chopper.
These guys are both.
Yeah, and these guys are both. Now, they are expensive. They are 34 points per man. They are expensive, but that's because you're paying for the LMG. Now, if you work out the points, I've worked out the points cost of these units, if you break it down. So you're 13 points for veteran, you're 5 points for your LMG, sorry, 5 points for your power armor, 18 points, 15 points for your LMG, which is the same for everybody. That puts you up to 33 points, 1 point for tough fighter. So they are expensive, but they are in line with, they are in line. So yeah, I think they're genuinely good. I think they were good. I think they are a unit which can absolutely do a bit of everything. They are more than happy to just Daka the crap out of something, and then when the enemy gets close, fill them in.
Cool, like that. Happy days.
I mean, put it this way, mate. I'd favour them going into Totem Core over basic infantry.
Definitely. Because
they could hose them down, and then, next turn finish them off, because they'll get the charge on both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they could just run away because they're faster than the Totem Core. They are 1 point more expensive than the regular British infantry, but that's because the regular British infantry don't come, powered infantry, they don't come with tough fighter. They can be upgraded with all sorts of stuff, but yeah, basically you've got the Galahads, which can be a little bit cheaper and have got a few more weapon options, or you've got the Italian Bersaglieri power armor squads, and they're fixed. They are what they are. And they are your all-rounders. Yeah. So we'll get to the automated infantry.
Yeah.
Your favorite models in the game. So they are 35 points a man, which is quite expensive. Not cheap. But they are, and they're slow. So they only move 4 and 8, unless they have a surging dice, and then they move 6 and 12.
Okay.
So they're a bit slow.
And do you have to discard the searching dice to make? Is that their special?
No, that's a passive ability.
Right. Okay. Nice.
So they get to just keep that. They come with a rift dice, and we'll get to their rift ability in a moment. So each one comes with an MMG, and because they are augmented, they can operate that MMG independently. So they don't need a team around them.
Yeah,
makes sense. They can be upgraded to an HMG for 10 points per model, making them 45 points. They are fearless, which, as we saw, which means they ignore all pins. So your Mark 1 automatons, and they have computational systems. So basically, they're not going to have any to hit modifiers ever.
Nice.
There is they do come with 1 to hit modifier inbuilt. It's called first off the line to represent these were the early ones.
Yeah.
And they suffer a -1 to hit modifier when shooting all the time. But in theory, you never need to worry about that rule.
Okay.
Because Simon, you know how much you love robots?
Yeah, well, I do now apparently.
You've got Mark 1 robots, which are the ones you are familiar with.
Yeah.
But there's Mark 2 robots.
Oh.
And let me tell you, these are not just the same models with a different paint job. Yeah. I think these are brand new models that we haven't seen before.
Right, okay.
Now we'll get to the Mark 2s in a moment.
Right.
But the reason why I mentioned them at this point, if your Mark 1s are within 6 inches of Mark IIs, they ignore their first off the line.
Nice. Okay, so you basically need 2 units to sort of work in tandem.
Or you have 1 unit of Mark IIs buffing multiple units of Mark Is.
Oh yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah,
it's a bubble.
See,
it's a bubble.
That's why the channel's named after you.
For now.
Well, and you do all, and it's your channel, obviously. But yeah.
There's been a coup. There's been a coup from the inside. The Navy's rebelling against the Guard.
That sounds very good, to be fair. So you've got these robots walking around with machine guns with no hit modifiers on them. Nice.
Their damage value 6, fearless. Now they do have a special rule. Do you want to know what it's called?
Go on. We may as well while we're here.
Danger! Danger! High voltage.
God.
That's actually what it's called.
Yeah.
When executing a fire order, so not an advance, a fire order, each model increases its shot count by 1.
Right. Run that by me again.
So when you do a fire order, everyone gets +1 shot.
Yeah.
That's the ability.
That's it. Nice.
But there is a downside.
Yeah.
After you've done it, you have to roll a hit. Each model has to roll like a hit against themselves.
Yeah.
So they might blow themselves up, basically.
Right, okay.
Which isn't so bad if they're armed with MMGs, because it's only a 6 up, then your guys will explode.
Yeah, but it's a HMG.
It's a 5 up, they'll explode.
You have to hit butter. Right.
I'll read out verbatim, and then you've got the full information. High voltage. When executing a fire order, a Mark I automated infantry squad may increase the shot value of their weapons by +1.
May, so you don't have to.
May increase. Yeah.
Yeah.
If they do so, after they've resolved their shooting, the unit suffers 1 hit. Oh, the unit suffers 1 hit. Oh, no. Unit suffers 1 hit with an equivalent pen value to the weapon fired per model in the unit. Okay. Exhaust its rift die after resolving these hits. So yeah, basically everyone gets +1 shot. Everyone who you want gets +1 shot. And then everyone who did it generates a hit against the unit.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So, and they just suffer the hit. They don't, I wonder if technically you get a cover save against it. I don't think you should.
I can't imagine. Would be a bit. I'm hiding behind a rock, and therefore when
it's a grounding point. You touch the rock, and it grounds the robot, and that way it's bad. That way it doesn't take the electricity. No, I don't. I think that would probably be us if we read the rules as written for firing. I bet it has to say coming from an enemy unit, and then yeah, something like that. But it'd be funny if it did rules as written. But we're not knobheads, so we're not going to do that. So what do you think about that? +1 shot.
Again, you're not one. I think the thing is with that. Yes, it's very good, but going back to what I said earlier about if you're trying to get rift dice back, say you want to try and use up some rift dice so you can try and get a surge in rift dice for something else.
Yeah,
that's quite a big risk. It's not like the Fireflies one where you just do it to put.
Yeah.
But I guess that'd be very, very clutch if you got
at the right moment. It's not something. I mean, I think some people will be Billy Big Bollocks and they'll high voltage every turn. They'll be like high voltage, high voltage, high voltage. Like, sure, fine, have fun with it, go nuts.
Yeah.
But bear this in mind, mate. These guys are only 2 points more than your regular power armor guys.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
This is a weird sort. They're only 2 points more, and yet they are fearless. They don't have the mass 1 to hit modifier, which your other power armor guys will do because they've got LMGs. And they're a bit slower, but yeah. But basically, what I think it is do you want to? I probably wouldn't even do the extra shot unless it was a really clutch moment.
Yeah, that's it. Is this going to swing the game one way or the other? Yes, then I'm going to use it. If it's not, then no, it's not one you're just going to use, is it? But they seem very, very good, to be honest.
So it's 175 points for 5 of them. So, what do you think?
I think they're better than, yeah. Is that for the Mark 1 or Mark 2?
That's for the Mark 1.
How much for Mark 2?
Well, they're 63 points per man.
Wow. Okay, they are expensive. Right.
But they're a lot better.
Yeah.
So you get what you pay for. So firstly, bear in mind you are paying for the fact that you're buffing all your Mark 1s.
Yeah.
That's
how many's in a unit there?
You get it's 2 for 126 points.
Yeah.
And 63 points per extra one, up to a maximum of 4 in the unit.
And what's rate? Is it 6 inches you said to the Mark 1s?
Yeah. Bigger squad, obviously, bigger bubble.
Yeah. So, but I mean, if you've got heavy machine guns.
Oh, no, they've got something else.
No, but I'm just looking at the Mark 1s.
Yeah.
Then essentially, you don't worry too much about, because what's heavy machine gun range? 36 or 48?
36 or 48. So 48, I think.
Yeah. So you're not worrying too much about. So you essentially want to find somewhere where you can set them up, hide your Mark 2s behind something out of the way, and then just use them as a buff piece, and then use them if you need to at some point during the game. Yeah, no, seems very good.
I mean, you say that, but they don't suffer the penalty for moving and shooting. So actually, what I would say is these can be very aggressively used, because you can just move up the board, just blasting people's asses off.
Yeah.
I think these will be a surprisingly aggressive army. Think of them like traditional Death Guard in 40k. You're going to march across the board, taking incredible damage, but just keep going.
Yeah.
So each one is to the damage value 7, so they're immune to small arms fire.
Yeah.
Each one comes with a light autocannon.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. Now you see why they're so expensive.
Take that back then.
Yeah. So they come with a light autocannon. They are damage value 7. They're fearless.
Yeah.
They have computational systems. They're hard to kill, which means they always get a 5-up save. And when they're in cover, they get +2 to their save instead. So if they're in cover, they're on a hard cover on a 2-up save. If they're marching across the board, they've got a 5-up feel no pain, essentially.
Yeah.
And then you can, they have their ability as coordinated strike, where you can expend your rift dice and they can shoot through friendly units. So your men don't get in the way.
Yeah.
So the way I thought of using these things is have them marching behind like a mech, because the mech or a tank, because the tank will give them heavy cover. That'll stack with their hard to kill. You've got bozos walking across the board on a 2-up save.
Bloody hell, yeah.
And if you give the tank computational systems, the tank doesn't mind moving forward either.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all this shit's expensive though. It's real spenny.
Yeah.
But I think the Brits are gonna be, if the Americans are like the Imperial Guard of this game, I think the Brits are the Space Marines.
Wow.
Dead hard, can move and shoot. Dead hard, strangely maneuverable.
Yeah.
Also, they can take a heavy autocannon in the squad for 10 points.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Like them. Yeah.
I mean, you know what you got to do. There's got to be as you roll the dice, you've got to be like, God save England. Bam, 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 bam. God, Britain. God save Britain. Or what's that scene from? Did you ever watch Doctor Who with David Tennant?
No.
Okay, well, for those of you that did, it's like that scene in is it the Doomsday episode where the Cyberman, the person that gets converted to Cyberman's like, I did my duty for king and country, and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. So, Simon, what do you think of the British?
They sound very good. Pity about the models. Hopefully there is some new models in the works.
But I feel like they appeal to you more than the Americans, perhaps.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So, shall we have a look at the Japanese next?
Yes.
Okay. So, we'll focus on the Japanese army rules and maybe just touch upon one of the Japanese units, maybe one or two, because most of the Japanese stuff is fair. The units are pretty straightforward. Like, you see an infantryman, he's got a crush rifle, you know what that does, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, the first thing to mention is the the Japanese can incorporate bot action units, but the Japanese bot action units do actually get to benefit from one of the Konflikt 47 army rules, which is nice. And the one they get to benefit from is Death Before Dishonor. Everyone has fanatics. They automatically pass morale checks for being assaulted by enemy vehicles. And Empire of Japan units may reroll failed order tests when attempting to assault. Basically, they benefit from the main army rule from bot action.
Bot action.
There you go. Army-wide fanatics is massive though in this game. You know, because with the with there being a lot of assault going on, being fanatical in assault is very, very important. So I think Japan, I would say Japan will probably be, if not the premier assault army themselves, so there's a very good chance they will be that, as we'll see later. I think they'll be very good at least taking assaults. Yeah. Because they're not just going to crumble. We keep referring to Totem Corps, but they're a very, very good assault unit. If Totem Corps stumble into a Japanese infantry squad, they'll just keep fighting until it's all over. Yeah. Which makes it a lot more, which really blunts the ability of the Totem Corps.
Yeah. And the Wolf guys.
And the Wolf guys as well. So your second army rule is from nowhere. So if you go into ambush, you can do an ambush charge from 12 inches away, not 6, that's very good. Which is very good, but bear in mind that it specifies this in the rule. If you go over rough ground, you still can only assault. You can still only do an assault 6 inches. Right. Okay. So it's good, but to really take advantage of it, you kind of need to be out in the open, which isn't ideal. Yeah. But it's
you're going to need to do some clever some positioning play on that one to take full advantage. Yeah, that's a fair point.
What I really like about it is A, it's really cool, and B, it can potentially create a massive don't come here bubble, and C, I kind of like it as an anti-deep strike thing, because if some fireflies try and deep strike behind your cover, then you can be like, I'm going to charge you. Yeah. I'm going to charge. So then they have to decide if they're going to deep strike. So you're going over rough ground, at which point then you're getting cover against the fireflies. And then the fireflies have to decide if they even want to get in point blank range, because obviously if they do, which is good for them, but then you're going to be able to assault them. Yeah. So I think I don't think it's quite as busted as it's seen, but it's more of a mind game for your opponent.
Yeah, I think it's very good, to be honest. I mean, yeah, right. Again, it depends on you could still, if you got cover in front of you, you're not going to be able to ambush forward, but you could still go sideways or backwards, like you said. So clever positioning will be required to maximise that, I think. But yeah, I think that's very good.
I mean, thinking about it from a 40k point of view, a 12-inch, what is essentially heroic intervention in some ways, is pretty mental. Yeah.
That's a big. What's that? Say a 5-man unit, spread them out a bit. 24-inch. That's a lot of ground you can cover.
A lot of ground. Yeah. Next one is shadow work. If deemed to be in cover from enemy shooting, Empire of Japan units on ambush orders improve their cover save by +1.
That's very good.
That's very good. So there's a lot of... It's all about ambushing and assaulting.
Yeah. We're in ambush. Yeah,
plus every unit goes into ambush every turn. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all. I think what kind of counters that a little bit is... a lot of the Japanese units are, especially the good assault units, are quite short-ranged. But it's not a bad idea at all. Last one, we've got Secrets of Iwo Jima. So this is basically all but saying the Japanese have somehow managed to get their own rift, which is kind of interesting from a lore point of view. This one is all about outflanking. So you can do... We don't really do outflanking in our games.
No.
We probably should do.
Not in bolt action either.
No, we probably should do.
Yeah.
But basically, you could outflank from turn 2 onwards rather than turn 3. And you don't suffer the -1 modifier for moving onto the table from reserve. So, I mean, it's quite good because in bolt action, there's none of the... Oh, and Konflikt 47, there's none of this. You can't come within 9 inches of each other. So you can outflank very close to each other.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's probably one of those... What I would say with that one is it's one that you and I don't really appreciate. But a better player than us will be salivating at that one.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Now, very quickly...
someone who's actually tried to outflank something.
Yeah.
You know.
We'll have to try it sometime. So, 2 units I want to draw your attention to, and then we'll go over to the Russians.
Yeah.
So, the first unit to draw your attention to is your genuine, no sarcasm, assault frame armored infantry squad.
Yeah.
So, these are your power armor guys.
Yeah, I like those guys.
So, these are the ones... So there's two kinds of exoskeleton. There's battle frame and there's assault frame. Battle frame are cheaper, 22 points per man, which by K47 standards is actually incredibly reasonable. It's very, very cheap, but they just come with SMGs. They can take the crush rifles though, which is very interesting. So it is 6 points upgrade. That still only makes you 28. Put it this way, that only makes you 28 points per man. And I'm going to be real with you, Simon. If I'm paying 28 points per man, I'll probably go for a Japanese dude with a crush rifle than a Firefly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
completely agree.
I think Fireflies are good, but I just feel like I'd rather have a dude with a rift with a proper rift gun.
Yeah.
With exploded, because they get every time they get a hit, they get 2 hits when you do the weapon properly, don't they?
Yeah, they're very good. I think they were the ones that kind of, when we were looking at the actual rift weaponry, they were the ones that I thought, perhaps didn't have the headline of the rail cannons of the Tesla, but then you actually think in terms of just what's the word I'm looking for? Consistent output. That's definitely where I thought they were strongest.
I think the Japanese will probably be your favorite army. I think they will be.
Yeah,
I think you get all the wackiness, but you get that superior Japanese engineering where everything is extremely precise and fine-tuned, and yeah. So I think you'll get that. The assault frame infantry,
coolest as well,
and the models are I got 10 of them. I might get some more.
Yeah.
The assault frame, I think, are a bit more up your alley though, and I think they're actually a very important unit because I think these are your dudes who, because you don't have any monsters, right?
Yeah.
So you're not the Soviets who can send Ursus into Schreckwolfen and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So these guys, I think, will be your go-to proper combat unit. They get 3 attacks each at Pen +1.
That's very good.
And they're 26 points per model. They're I know we keep using the Fireflies as an example, but they're cheaper than Fireflies.
What's the movement?
6 and 12.
So they're not exactly slow, are they?
No. I know. I want to make something clear, by the way, to all the people that are like, wait, are Fireflies bad, but they come in my starter box? No, Fireflies are really, really good. It's just Simon doesn't like them.
To be fair, I think 2 units of 5 is... How many do you get in the starter box?
12.
That's a lot of Fireflies.
Well, it's so you could so it fills out your minimum assault platoon.
Ah, right, of course. Yeah, no, I just think that... No, I thought they were very good. I just thought they were quite expensive.
Yeah. I think, do you know what it is?
Well,
it's the fact...
We're basing that off one game.
We're basing that off one game. Do you know what it is, mate? It's because the Fireflies, you have to take 6. So that makes them 160-something points. These assault frame guys are only 130 points, but that's for 5 of them. And 5 is enough, I think.
Yeah, you don't... Yeah.
I think if they made Fireflies minimum squad size 5, it would probably solve all their problems.
Yeah, just bring it down a bit.
Just bring it...
32 points a model.
It brings it down to 138 points or something.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah. Suddenly, way more affordable. It's just you're paying for the 6th man that you probably don't want.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, you know what? They weren't that bad. They did some...
I mean, they wrecked my power armor guys, didn't they?
Yeah, and if I'd have got the first dice, they'd have probably wrecked your wolfy dudes as well.
That's true,
it might just have been poor generalship on that, on my
And
part.
also, you did break... The other squad failed a 1-pin order and then ran off the board.
Yeah.
So.
That's a drawback of quick infantry, eh?
Yeah. Well, it's a great point, though. They will panic 18 inches if they've got a rift die on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. So, yeah, the other unit I want to draw your attention to, Simon, is the Shibito, the Japanese zombies.
Yeah.
These are very, very interesting.
Yeah.
They are actually quite different to Totem Core.
Oh, are they?
So Totem Core are slow zombies.
Yeah.
Shibito are fast zombies.
Right, okay.
So they're not quite as tough. They are only damage value 5+ rather than 6 up.
Yeah.
They're still fearless.
Yeah.
They still can come back, Dead Rise Again style.
Yeah.
But they have normal movement 6 and 12.
Right, that's big.
That's fucking huge.
Yeah.
They're still tough fighters as well. They're still infiltrator. And they are... Totem Core have gone up to 20... I think 22, 23 points per model. These guys are still only 19 points per model.
Really? Wow. I'd have thought that'd have been more. I think I'd take the move. Well, actually, you're going to be losing twice as many to shooting, aren't you? That's the...
But are you, though? Because the dead rise again.
Well, yeah, that's very true. You're going to want to make sure you've got rift dice for these fellas, put it that way.
I think what you do is you get someone with rift mastery and he pops an extra rift dice on them basically at the beginning of the game. I think the Japanese can buy rift mastery. I'll have a quick look. They may not be able to, but I'll have a quick look. I don't know if they can, actually. They get guts and luck. Yeah, they only get guts and luck, so no rift mastery. So no, they can't ever have double rift dice. So they're very good, but they you can't give them extra rift dice, unlike the Germans. So yeah, it's fast zombies that die a bit easier, or slow zombies that never ever die. I think the Germans having such easy access to rift mastery is probably the big game changer for them. Every platoon commander can have it.
Every one?
Every platoon commander can have it.
Wow.
It's 15 points, but... Yeah. Okay. So
on a different note, all the base extenders are now painted.
Hey! And so we can get your full undivided attention for the last army, which might be my new favorites, purely from a vibe perspective. I don't think they're going to be the most powerful. The Soviet bloc.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to say straight away, before we get into the army rules, the Soviets do have a problem. They don't have very good anti-tank.
Yeah, the rift weapons weren't we didn't think they were the strongest, did we?
They're very good against infantry. The rift weapons are really, cannot express that enough, very good against infantry. But if you look at the Japanese, their crush weapons could potentially spike.
Yeah.
If you look at the Americans and the British, they get access to heavy Tesla cannons, so they're fine. And obviously the Germans have got the rail cannons, so they're fine. The anti-tank for the Soviets, and this is, I think, where I think the Soviets, more than any other nation, will dip into bolt action units.
Right.
Because I think they'll dip into bolt action units for affordable anti-tank.
Right, yeah, guess that makes sense.
That's where I think they're going to go. I think it will. I think if you're a Soviet player coming into bolt action, I think you want to be getting the Su-76s, which are the little. They're only like armor 8, and all they are, but they're a little. They're a light howitzer, which can also be upgraded for like 10 points or something, or a few points, whatever it is, to be a medium anti-tank gun as well.
Yeah,
and they're only about 130, 140 points. And I think you do. I think you'll want 2 or 3 of them.
But then that's quite, Russian equipment's a bit shoddy, but you can get a lot of it.
Exactly. More so than any other, and the Russians are the only people that don't really have access to a rift. So so the vibe of the Russians is more than anybody else, they are kind of relying on their vast stockpiles of conventional weapons to see them through, because they're the largest force in that they are rules as law established to say they're the largest army.
Yeah.
So, but by the way, their infantry is fantastic. They get Schreckwolfen, which are great, and the only unit they get all sorts of great power armor. They've got I would argue they've got some of the best power armor in the game. They're very, very good, but they're going to struggle with anti-tank if they don't go over to bot action.
Yeah, the old school armies. Okay. Yeah, old school units. Yeah,
exactly. So the first army rule: harmonic resonance. The Soviets have mastered... I need to read the fluff bit out because it won't make sense without the fluff bit. The Soviets have mastered sonic manipulation and the subconscious interactions of it with human consciousness. Enemy forces in the battle zone are constantly bombarded with confusing, overlapping, long-range subsonics, modulated to disorientate and distress them. This is the rule.
Yeah.
At the start of every game turn, roll a d6 for each enemy unit on the table that does not have the Fearless Special rule.
Yeah.
On a 5+, that unit immediately receives a pin marker.
Bloody hell.
Every unit, board wide, 5 up. Vehicles, infantry, everything.
That is crazy.
It's bonkers good. I mean, how many times have you failed a 1-pin order check?
Well, quite often.
You got to roll 5 ups and 5. Got to roll 5 ups and 5 aren't reliable, but
that is very, very good.
I think that's how the Soviets make up for a lack of anti-tank. Often their enemy units just pin. Yeah. Now, the next one is, you thought that one was good, Simon. You thought that one was good. Check out these boots for size. Whenever a Soviet block, infantry, or artillery unit fails a morale check and would be destroyed as a result, re-roll it and apply the second result instead. So that's the same as bot action, right?
Right, yeah.
But there's more. If a test is passed in this way, the unit is immediately uprated to the next quality level for the rest of the game.
Bloody hell. I mean, it's good, but that's going to be quite niche.
So you take a veteran unit, it loses half of its guys, it takes a morale check. No, not a veteran, you take a regular unit, it loses half of its guys, it takes a morale check, it uprates to veteran.
That's very good, but you have to
lose half your guys. Then
fail, and then pass. So again, that's one. It's a bit like the British one. I think that at some point that's going to change. Be a game changer, but I don't think it's going to come in that often.
That's a good point. Actually, you have to fail the first one, don't you? To then, that's a good limiting factor. Okay, because you might just pass it. You might be like, "Come on, you bastards, fail this test," and then they just pass it. You're like, "Fuck."
And then you got to still pass it. So yeah, it's one of those where it's going to come in clutch at what, there's going to be a game where, but I don't think that's kind of the thing you can kind of build a tactic around, is it, to be fair?
Fair play. Fair point. But you do know at some point.
Yeah, it's going
to be.
Yeah, I mean, I do not want to play you with the Soviets because I just know what's going to happen with that.
Fail, pass, fail, pass.
Or your brother. Neither of you.
Next one's a fluff one. Really nice fluff one. Heroes of the Soviet bloc. At the start of the game, before deployment, one non-hero, non-rift infantry unit in the Soviet bloc force may be designated Heroes of the Soviet bloc. The chosen unit immediately gains a point of guts, so they can put the dice back in the bag once per game.
Yeah, Black Ops, big fan of that.
And furthermore, friendly units within 6 inches of the hero's unit gain the Fanatic special rule.
Okay.
So they're a nice force multiplier, and they can, once per game, they can basically put their dice back in the bag.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shame you can't put this on a Daughters of the Motherland unit, because I feel like they are the propaganda unit for the Soviets. But,
so that's non-hero, non-rift.
Yeah, and the Daughters are a Rift unit.
Yeah. Okay.
Now the next one's really funny. Once per game, when a Soviet bloc Rift Tech. So the next one is called Stolen Rift Tech. Sorry, Stolen Rift Tech.
Yeah.
Once per game. It's okay. Once per game, when a Soviet bloc Rift die is drawn randomly from the dice bag, rolled and assigned to a Soviet bloc unit, its owning player may swap the result of that Rift die assigned to another unit within 6 inches, friend or foe. For example, if it rolled an exhausted result and an enemy unit within 6 inches of that unit had an active Rift die, you may change the Soviet Rift die to active and the enemy Rift die to exhausted.
Quite funny.
It's funny, but it's only once per game, and you have to be within 6 inches of them. It's very niche.
Again, yeah. To be honest, I think you've got 3 very niche rules there, and then one that's very, very good.
Yeah, you've got one which is just like, oh my god, like game changing every game.
Yeah,
every game, just stacking pins, and then 3 which like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
In terms of units, there's nothing. The only unit I'd draw your attention to quickly would be the Siberian Terror Troops. They are kind of what you would expect at this point. They're a veteran unit. Their damage value is 6+, so they're very hard to kill. They're not fearless though, but they do get fieldcraft, so they can run through terrain. They don't give a shit, and they are fast. So they're fieldcraft and they run 16 inches, so they're very fast. They ignore all damage and pinning effects from flamethrowers because they're just so cold they can't be defrosted. And the last that they've just got 2 attacks each, no pen in combat unless they've got surging dice. The thing is, they have their rift ability is Killing Mist. Basically, when issued an order, you can expend a rift dice and they can generate a killing mist around them.
Yeah.
This gives them soft cover if they don't already have it. And if they charge an enemy unit, the enemy unit doesn't get the bonus of being in a defensive position. And if they're not in a defense position, you strike first. So it's kind of like the Falcon Punch, but better because you get to bring the cover with you.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Not too powerful though because they've not got that much pen.
Yeah. I mean, that 3 up, 5 up give a pick. That's
the one you're focusing on.
Yeah. I don't really like the models for the Soviets, to be fair. So not one I'll be looking at playing, but that's very, very good.
It's gonna be one that you're not gonna want to play either with or against.
Yeah.
Simon, it's time for the pinning phase. Don't roll any 5s up, Tim. Oh, there's a 5. Oh, there's a 5. Oh, there's a 5. Against me, that rule is just evil.
Yeah, not looking forward to that. So that might be it when I rock up and you go, we're playing Konflikt 47 and
I'm playing Soviets.
I'm playing Soviets. At that point, I'll suddenly get tonsillitis or something.
Just spontaneously. Not feeling very well, so I'm going to have to go home.
COVID. Again.
Another week. You keep getting it, Simon, every week. Okay. I am aware of obviously time concerns. You are a busy man with busy things, so we've covered all the army rules, Simon. But before we rush off, I would ask you, now that you know what all the army rules do, which ones are your favorites, and who do you think is your favorite faction overall?
I still think I really like the Japanese, to be honest. I really do. I think they seem to be like the least bonkers, but then I think the British seem very good as well. So I think hopefully they'll release a few new robots that aren't as pig ugly, and then I can
And the old ones are so hard to build as well. I refuse to get any more after building the first 5 of them.
Yeah. You know what? They're all very different. I think that's quite a nice that they are substantially different, which kind of works.
I think one of the issues with bolt action is some of the armies have felt very similar. Like the Americans, everyone's getting an airborne unit, which is stubborn. Everyone's getting a marine unit, which is a bit better in combat. Whereas Konflikt 47, no one's got the same shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I think definitely the British or the Japanese, to be honest.
Now, who do you think is going to be the strongest?
I still think it'll be the Germans.
You think the Axis?
Well, actually, no. I'll go back to my original point, and nothing swapped on this. Is whichever, if I went that has units that have got the best rift abilities and have access to cheap rift dice, will be the best faction.
For me personally,
I think that mechanic is going to be.
For me personally, I think they're all strong and they'll all be able to compete against each other. But I think if I was to put a couple of runners, forward runners, front runners, as it were, I think Axis and British.
Yeah.
If built correctly, if lent into correctly, I think Axis and British. But I think the Soviet one could be surprisingly good because of that army rule, the 5-up, the wub.
Yeah.
And I think I wouldn't be surprised if once we've got a bit more experience with the Americans, they start shining. And I really wouldn't be surprised if the Japanese come out ahead in front of everybody.
So basically all 5 of them.
Yes, all 5 of them, but first impressions before he gains with all of them. I feel like British and Axis seem they're very good because they'll be quite straightforward to play. I think that's, if I was going to say easiest factions, I think British and Axis. I think factions which will reward skillful players will be the other 3. Yeah, I think the Japanese and the Americans will definitely require more skill, but could potentially be more powerful when you get that skill.
No, the Americans are going to be. You've got the fast movie Fireflies, and then you've got an awful lot of. I don't think.
Oh yeah, include the Americans in that last. I think all 3. The Americans. I think there's 2 ways to approach it. You either try and be finesse with your Fireflies.
Yeah.
Or you take every 50 cal you can find and just dagger everyone to death. So I think the Americans will have 2 very distinct paths: unbelievably straightforward, or very, very finesse. And I think that's good because it will appeal to a broad range of players. Some people just want to shoot stuff. Some people want to feel like the masters of control.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'm just looking now through the British rules and seeing how many rift dice units they've got.
Well, if you take all the robots, everyone.
Yeah.
You can have a whole rift army. Yeah.
I'm just seeing what's the cheapest. 98 points for Grenadiers.
Oh yeah, the Grenadiers are really interesting because they are they're a specialist infantry and they're very cheap.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else's specialist stuff tends to be quite expensive.
Yeah. You know, you take maybe 2 or 3 of those units. It just gives you rift dice. That's what I keep. You know, it's
they can take a Tesla rifle, which gives you a rift dice.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I keep thinking is how do you leverage that mechanic basically? But I mean, like,
one interesting thing with the British is you absolutely could just take an inexperienced platoon commander dirt cheap. Most of the nations don't want to do that because they need their officers to actually be able to survive in this new lethal world. Whereas the British, you take an experienced platoon commander, you don't need him because all your robots are fearless. They don't give a shit about pins. They always do what they're told all the time. And your real commander is the Mark II robots.
Yeah.
And I think that's a little sneaky way you can save points as Brits. But Simon, I think that's all we've got time for today.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. Well, I've got my painting done.
I apologize. I apologize we didn't get to talk about your old world stuff. We will do
we'll
that.
do that next week. We're playing Bolt Action. We're playing Old World this week, so that's fine.
Makes sense.
Let's not confuse the matter.
Yes, let's not confuse. That's a great way of putting it. Yeah. So, are you feeling a bit more positive about K47 overall? Pretty decent.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see where the game goes. And that, I think that's going to be key. It is, what does the game look like in 12 months? What's the community? Is there a community? And, it's like Bolt Action. It's essentially, the only person I play Bolt Action against is you, and that works really well because we can tailor the game.
Yeah.
To make sure. I'm going to have a proper look. It looks really good. It is good fun, I think.
It's so fun.
It's how is it, is it good fun for everyone? I think that's going to be the.
I think it'll be a really good dynamic, us both coming at this game, because you are I'm going to be just enjoying all the toys, and you're going to be thinking more about X balancing against Y and all that kind of stuff. Which is, you need both approaches. You can't, you have to have a balance between fun and flavor.
Yeah, I was saying that's something, but yeah, it's bonkers, and like I said, I like that it's kept the good bits that I really like about Bolt Action, and then added the die, and it might be interesting. I think at some point if you do start to see a tournament scene where you're going to end up with sort of limitations on a unit dice and also rift dice in the back. That's where it might end up if it's a tournament. If there is a tournament scene on it, I don't know if there will be or not.
Every game that gets popular does a tournament scene, so we don't know yet. Only time will tell. I'm sure Warlord will be running events on it.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see where the points, because I thought 1250 felt a little too low.
Let's go 1500. Let's just go 1500 and embrace the rift.
Yeah, because again, I think if you're spending 600 odd points on 2 units, that's.
Yeah, 100%. Well, maybe our next game, if I'm a busy bee on painting, should be Brits versus Japanese.
That'll be interesting. Well, we've got plenty of Brits between us.
I've got a full Brit army already painted up, so for K47, a bit busy. Anyway, on that note, I think we will sign off. Simon, as always, thank you so much for your time and your keen insight. And dear viewers, thank you for watching. Let us know what you think down in the comment section below. Which army do you think is going to have the best rules? Which units are you most excited for? Let us know your inner thoughts and your deep feelings. There we go. And no, I won't answer the question, where do babies come from? Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And of course, as always, see you guys next time. Would you like to know more? If so, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. By supporting the channel, not only will you be doing your part, but you'll also be helping me create more content for your viewing pleasure and unlocking a whole host of perks. You get everything from a badge next to your name, custom emojis, but the big one is access to the Mordian Glory Discord server, an online community with almost 2,500 active members. It's always popping off in the MG Discord. We've got channels for army lists, hobbying, tactics, stories, and even a pretty spicy meme section as well. For all you greenhorns that wanted to see the Mordian glory hole, today is your lucky day. And joking aside, I do want to say a massive thank you to all of the current channel members and patrons. You guys are amazing. Truly the lifeblood of the channel. I could not do Mordian Glory full time without the incredible and generous support of my members. So thank you guys so much. And last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier Patreons. These are the War Masters, the people who have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty. So a heartfelt thank you to Redfield, 32, Jurgens, Miasma, Try Again, Bragg, RJ, Scorpion, Bonbon Vert, Lord Pryor, Nicholas Walsh, John Stubbs,
Guardian, Varney, Sword, Fish Trombone, Picklock, the Forged.
Seriously, guys, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support is incredible and it makes a huge difference. Thank you so much. That's all for now. Hope you've all enjoyed today's video, and of course, as always, see you guys next time.